Namaste, Madame Joshi.
Namaste.
So today we are on 12th of April 2013 and we are in Massy. And so we are with Madame Joshi, who has devoted her whole life to try to understand all the cultural and religious practices of the woman in Rajasthan, where you are from, especially in the Udaipur region. And you have written a thesis also on this topic. And so my question would be, first, how did you get interested in this topic, and what did you find, and also in your findings, like to analyzing the folk songs, the practices, the rituals. There's also another aspect which I found very interesting, is that you also came across very different ways of approaching, for example, one of the famous epics like Ramayana, which is one way is presented in the classical presentation, and then in the folk songs, it's a very different picture that comes from like a woman's perspective. So we would be very interested to hear your insights on these things.
In fact, when I came to France, I was also very much influenced by the text books, the religious textbooks which are published. And I never thought that in the oral literature, in the real practice of the religious practice of the life, things are very different. Although I was myself doing all these practices, I was doing this, but I was not feeling that. So when I came here, there was a professor, Mr. Olivier Lacombe, who was a very big specialist of Vedanta, and Mr. Jean-Luc Chambard, a professor who is professor of civilization. By the way, I read some articles of Professor Chambard, and my thinking was changed. Many things which we were practicing since my childhood, my mother, my grandmother, my neighbors, everybody was, millions of women were practicing, or millions of persons were practicing, and still these were the things which were neglected. For them, people were thinking, this is in French you will say blah blah. Oh, it is not, these are not the things coming from an intellectual mass. And even in my mind, things coming from an intellectual mass, things told by a big educated, highly educated person or a pandit, were more important than these ordinary things. And here when I have seen some articles of some professors, Madame Thomas, Mr. Chambard, etc., then some people asked me the question that millions of people are practicing something, and you think that these are idiot things, they don't know what they are doing? No, it means, and I felt that no, it means we are not understanding the importance of that thing. And this became an inspiration for me to collect these things. And in the beginning I was thinking that I will publish these things at least in Hindi, because most of this literature, not only literature, most of these things, you can't say only literature. If, for example, the word mantra, as soon as you say the word mantra, it is Sanskrit. In your mind it is Sanskrit. But when I thought about these things, I felt that so many formulas used like mantra, and people believe that it has an effect, same effect as a mantra. So I started seeing everything which was happening in my circle, in my area, which was practiced by thousands of people, started having an importance in my eyes, and I started seeing my own culture with another point of view. And I was a little bit subjective in the beginning. So when I was feeling that these things seems to be nonsense, I was willing not to see. Even if the thing is in front of me, I was willing not to see, to close my eyes. But when I was inspired by some professors and this intellectual mass, I started feeling that no, the truth is truth. I should see the truth as a truth. It is the reality of the life. For example, my house is very clean, very clean, very clean. No, sometimes there is some, we say, poubelle in some kachra, some things which we have to, garbage which we have to throw. This is the reality of life, that sometimes there is garbage and we have cleaned the house. It was the same type of feeling. And then I started collecting some things because I was feeling that most of the, many things which we are doing, which are seeing, we are feeling, are not written. People do, but they don't see this. They don't see in the books. And then my husband also inspired me. It was an inspiration coming from my area, my professors, my students. I am highly obliged to them, that thankful to them. And then I started collecting some work, and I was willing to write a book on the life of Hindu women. Especially because Hindu women, I felt here that everybody thinks that Hindu woman is crushed. In French you will say soumise. But sometimes I was asking myself, am I really soumise? Was my mother soumise? And I felt that no, they were not so weak. If you see from far, you will have an impression that this woman is soumise. But why that woman is not saying a single word against this? Why there is no revolution? Why she does not want to break these chains of traditions if the chains are not very really good? No, I felt that no. On one hand, people are thinking that she is like a kedi, a prisoner, in a person in a prison, who is tied. There are chains in her hands, and on the other hand, she is not doing anything against it. She is teaching to her daughter-in-law, every woman who is coming in her circle, to continue the same way of life. It means there is some speciality in that. So I wanted to enter in this and do some analysis and see what is the reality of the life. And this is a subject, very, very vast subject. So I have chosen that Hindu woman is searching, in the whole world, woman is searching her liberty. This is a fact. In every country, she is trying her best and best and best for having liberty. Does the Hindu woman is not doing anything? And suddenly I felt that no, she has started this thing very long ago. But her way of searching her liberty is particularly in the domain, in the
field,
in the circle, in the field of religious practice. So there are many points we can search but searching every field is not so easy. So I have chosen the field of religious practice of Hindu women, what she is doing in this field, and there I have seen, I have felt clearly that she is searching, really, she is doing a very strong effort. she has done always, and she is continuing to do a search of liberty, but through religion, not through revolution. And this I was not shocked, but it was surprising. Why not revolution? Why she is not saying no, I don't accept it? And I started interviewing the traditional women, because a modern woman, her thinking is almost similar to the West countries. She is very much influenced by the textbooks or whatever is taught in the university. So, and that is not the majority. Majority of women are the women who are not going too much in the university. Even if they are going, most of those women are going to the university to search a job, not for becoming Western. So the woman who is feeling that I am Indian Hindu woman, I am, there are my traditions, my religion, my culture, I should continue in the life, even if she is a working class woman, but she is willing to maintain her traditions and what she is doing. And this material, suddenly I found that no, this is not this same material as it is written in the textbooks. And I started interviewing the women, but this was not only one woman who will continue. I thought that no, when there is only one woman, she will say something, and if she forgets, there is nobody to say her that point you have forgotten. But if it is a group, automatically other women will say, you have forgotten. So I will have more information, and the information will be more reliable. So I talked to some person of my family, some friends, that I require some interviews of the women who are doing religious practice. In fact, the religious practice we can divide in 3 sections. Not I will divide, but according to the women, according to these women whom I have interviewed, we can divide the religious practice in three steps, 3 categories. First, things reserved for men. Woman has nothing to do, she doesn't have the right. It is not a question of will, that she is willing or not. She doesn't have the right. The textbooks, the religious textbooks, the Dharma Granths do not give her the right to practice that. For example, there are many sects in India. There is a sect, Arya Samaj, which is reformist. Arya Samajis give the right to read Vedas, study Vedas, and the ceremony of Janev, Yajñopavi Sanskar, to a woman. But the majority of India, majority of the Hindus is not Arya Samaj. Majority is Sanatan Dharma. And Sanatan Dharma does not give the permission to a woman. It does not allow the woman for the Yajñopavi Sanskar. Even in the modern families, the most modern families, when they are Sanatani, I have never seen Yajñopavi Sanskar of a woman. It means they accept it. In the same way, according to Sanatan Dharma, woman is unpure. She is not pure because of her menstruation. Every month she becomes unpure. So if she starts the practicing and repeating Gayatri mantra for 7 days, she is impure, so she will not be able to repeat. So it will be a break, and it is not correct. The same way, study of Vedas is not allowed to Shudras and women, whatever might be the caste. Even if she is a Brahman girl, Vedas are not for her. So no Yajnapadya Sanskar, no Vedas. If there is no Yajnapadya Sanskar, automatically the Gayatri Mantra, because Gayatri Mantra is considered to be the most important mantra, the Hindus. Most of the people think that Gayatri Mantra is the most important thing. This is base. Om and Gayatri Mantra are the bases. But Gayatri Mantra is not repeated automatically. There is Yajnapadya Sanskar, the ceremony of Cordon Sacré. At the moment of this ceremony, just after the ceremony is finished, there is a Guru, a Pandit, who will give you a Diksha of Gayatri Mantra, and at that moment he will give you the right to repeat the Gayatri Mantra. If I will never have the Yajnapadya Sanskar, officially I was never given the right, I never had the Diksha of Gayatri Mantra. So saying that I know Gayatri Mantra by heart, yes, like a filmy song I have learnt it, but my society, my circle, my religion and my Pandits, have they given me the right to repeat Gayatri Mantra? No, because my Yajnapadya Sanskar was not done. And this is at the moment of the Yajnapadya Sanskar that Gayatri Mantra Diksha is given by a Pandit. So perhaps you will hear many modern persons, Gayatri Mantra repeated, you must repeat this. Yes, I can repeat a mantra without Diksha. But mantras are not learnt. Mantras are given through a Diksha. And my Pandit, my Guru has never given me Diksha. So Gayatri Mantra, Yajnapadya Sanskar and Vedas, the knowledge of Vedas, studying Vedas was not allowed. So this is reserved for men. Men of three Varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, who are twice born. So this is a moment of Yajnapadya Sanskar that a man of higher caste will become twice born, and when he is twice born, he receives the Diksha of Gayatri Mantra. For a woman, this is not possible. In fact, every child, when at the time of birth, he is like a Shudra. It is at the moment of Gayatri Mantra that he becomes twice born, and woman is never twice born. So, indirectly, see, if you think, she is always Shudra. So, Shudra, every person of the caste of Shudra, the fourth Varna, and women of whatever might be her Varna, they are on the same level. In the same way, there is a ritual which is, if you are a purist, it is practiced 3 times a day. It is Sandhya, Trikal Sandhya. Trikal means 3 times, which is practiced by the Dvij, twice born people, so automatically higher caste people. Trikal Sandhya is not for women, because there is repetition of Gayatri Mantra. So this is the thing reserved for men. Now the second category, that some religious practice, the man has the right, but I also have the right. So common for man and woman. For example, the observe le John, how we will say,
fasting.
The fasting of Ekadashi, Purnima, Monday, the 7 days. For example, Monday you can keep a fast. You can do fasting to receive the favor of Lord Shiv, or according to your horoscope, if moon is not favorable, for moon you can do the fasting on Monday, but for Mangal Mars you can do on Tuesday, etc., etc. A man can have right. Ganesh Chaturthi, anniversary of Ganesh, the Diwali festival. So is this common for men? My husband can do, I can also do. So this is the second category. Now there is a third category which is reserved for women. Man has nothing to do. This is her own world. She will decide how to do, what to do, which god or goddess should receive cult, which type of rituals I should do, what is the story, what is the importance, what are the mantras I should I should repeat. Sometimes there are some songs which are sang by the women, but this is woman's own world. And I have seen, when I started interviewing these women, they were, when I have seen this third category, I have seen that I have consulted the textbooks because the name of some festivals are there. There are some details related to this third category. But when I interviewed the women, when I asked them, because as myself I am a woman, I am from a traditional family, from a higher caste. So since my childhood I was doing these things myself. So I was specially automatically attached with this subject, that what is my circle, what is my field, my own field. I don't know it very well. I am practicing, but I am not realizing what I am doing. So I started thinking about that. And when I have interviewed for many years, when I went, every time when I was going to India during the summer vacations, it was a vacation for about 2 months, 2.5 months, I started these interviews through the group reunion meetings with some women. And there I have seen that what they were saying, what they were doing, what they were feeling was very different from the things which are written in the textbooks. Not only that the story was changed, not only that the rituals were changed, even the image of the gods and goddesses were very different. And in plus, not only this, even for example, the textbooks will will advise you not to lie. The textbooks will advise you always take permission of your husband, ask your husband, I want to do this religious practice, will you allow me, should I do? And it is with the permission of your husband that you should do your religious practices. Sometimes it is said that even God Shiva, he is saying that if a woman is doing some religious practice without taking permission of her husband, it will not give any good fruit, but she will go to hell after her death. It is not correct. Many examples you can have where textbooks are giving an order to a woman that your religious practice should be surveyed, should be observed carefully by the members of your family, especially your husband. But when I have taken the interviews of these women, there I found that through the stories of their festivals, through the songs of their festivals, through the message which was given during the rituals of these festivals, they were saying, don't ask anybody. You are free. Nobody has a right to control you in your religious practice. Because it is not a question of preparing a vegetable of potatoes or bhindi. This is your fundamental right. You should be free to choose your deities, your gods, your goddesses, your way of rituals, and nobody, neither your parents, nor your husband, nor your husband's in-laws' families, nobody, neither society, even the deity, the god or goddess, they don't have the right to control you, because religious practice is a good path. It is not a question of that I should smoke or not. This is a correct path. Continue. You have this right. For example, not only this, I have seen in many rituals that in the textbooks they are talking about the glory of that god or goddess. This was a miracle produced by, coming by this miracle done by that goddess or that god, and they are not talking too much about the devotee. The glory is explained in detail, and it is surprising that when the woman's religious practice, whatever she is doing really, it is not exactly the same thing. So I was interested. I started collecting the material on this, and I was thinking that these, because India is a big country and so many dialects, and most of this material related to women's religious practice is in dialect. 99% cases it is in dialect. There are some books published in Hindi also, but either they are textbooks, there are details which are not followed the same way. There are some other books recently published, but I have seen that when they are publishing, when they are taking all the information, they are trying to summarize them.
Summarize.
They are trying to summarize them. So a story at the moment of the cult, at the moment of the celebration of this festival, the story, suppose that this is a story of 20 minutes, of at least 40 pages. The story is summarized in 3 pages. So the message, the real message which the woman is giving to her daughter and daughter-in-law, to her sisters, through this cult, this festival, the message is not passed, and many of the books which are published in simple language, there also 3 pages, but 1 page will talk about the glory. The glory of that god or goddess is explained, but the real message, it is considered as blah blah.
Could you give an example of like some blah blah, which in fact is very important?
For example, in the films, perhaps you have seen that. First, before giving the example, I asked those women that whatever you are doing, your field, can you please explain me in detail? They told I asked, what is your aim? What you want to achieve through these religious practices? Do you also, do you want to go forward on the path of moksha, on the path of knowledge, towards like man? Perhaps your path is different, but your aim is the same. And there I asked them that, can you please explain me all the aims? What do you want to achieve? They explained me different aims. And we can divide the religious practice reserved for women in many categories. For example, some festivals which are based on special food, because the food, the whatever she will eat or which she will offer to the goddess, god or goddess that day, is chosen according to the choice of that god or that goddess related to that festival. For example, normally if it is a festival's day, you should prepare a good food. Many mithais, many sweets, variety. But no, the goddess Shitla, she loves something prepared by the makki, maize in French. She prefers a food prepared today which you will eat tomorrow morning. In French it is rasi, repas rasi. So because the goddess aims this, and for every festival there are some stories, and according to the story, the goddess loves this food because at the moment of her cult, people offered her a food hot, and she was
burnt.
She was burnt, and she suffered a lot, and she told that on the day of my festival, on the day of my cult, if somebody will eat a food hot or will offer me this, he will suffer a lot, and his family, his children can die, his husband can die. And there are so many stories of Shitla, so many songs of Shitla. She is a very important goddess, and so on the occasion of festival of Shitla, though the food, the things prepared, the plates, the varieties prepared for Shitla are considered to be food of poor people. But this is choice of goddess. The same food on the day of Diwali I will never prepare, because Lakshmi hates this food. These are some things related to the goddess of poverty, and Lakshmi does not like. So for every festival, you can divide these festivals according to their food. There are some festivals where I have to take one meal in whole day, but time is not fixed. So it is called Nakt Vrat. I take one meal during the day, or there is another category when whole day I will stay without drinking water, not only without eating, but without drinking water. In the evening I will do cult of that goddess. Then I will see the moon, and until I don't see the moon, I don't cult of moon is not celebrated, I cannot eat and drink. So according to this situation, you can divide this. You can divide also according to your aim. What do you want to achieve? For example, some festivals are some fasts, and some festivals and some cults are with the aim of having a son, and not only having a son is not sufficient, he should live alive. in good health. So it is for the birth of a child, but there is no festival where she is willing to have a daughter, or no festival which will say that my daughter should live long. No. Every festival related to become a mother will show that she wants a son, and the son should stay alive. So good health, long life, and having a son, becoming mother of a male child. Second, for having, if she is not yet married, then for having a good husband, faithful and good husband, husband of her dreams. After marriage, not having a husband, it is not sufficient. He should love me. So the real happiness of a married life is not only having a husband. It is not only a Panchtattva Putla, but it is for the achievement of his love. He should love me, and he should live long life of my husband. So having a long life of husband, and for achievement of love of his husband, she should become a favorite wife. The third one is, which the quantity of the third category is very small. Having a brother. The dynasty of my father should continue. First of all, if my father is no more, it is finished. My paternal family is finished. So I must have a brother. And he should live long. He should have a long life. Because according to the textbooks, I don't remember the name, but you can search, you will find easily, that according to the textbooks, a girl she can have a sisters or 10 sisters, but a girl who is abiri, who does not have a brother, you should not accept her as your daughter-in-law. And it is cruel. It is not her fault. Even if you can say that it is a fruit of bad work, bad things, means paap ka phal hai. But it is a paap of her parents that they don't have a son. But no, she doesn't have a brother. And ma'am, even today, you can find many people who will not accept easily girl of a family as their daughter-in-law if she doesn't have a brother. First thing. So, having a brother and his long life is important for her. Secondly, a brother is more important for her because on your husband you can't count. You can love him, but will he love you always? He is loving you very much. He is, you can say, slave antragina. He is loving you like Tulsidas, for example. But will he continue? And this sentiment you can see very easily even in the songs. For example, there is a song where she is saying that my in-law, the brother is asking my sister, how are you in your in-laws family? And she is saying, you see, my life is not so easy. The brothers and sisters of my husband, they are like the little snakes. They bite me sometimes. I have to tolerate them. And as far as my husband, he is like a plant, a arbuste,
plant? Yeah, a little tree.
A little plant.
Bush.
of henna. Sometimes it gives a very good color, sometimes no. The life is like this. So her husband today is very good. Tomorrow he can say, I love another woman. And what she will do? She can fight, but love you cannot gain by fighting. He can stay with you. You can control him. No, you can't go. Because the word divorce, I have not seen in this practice. She is not feeling about divorce and these things. There is no practice, no religious thing who will say you, if he is not correct, leave him. No. Don't leave your husband's wife. If paradise exists, it is only at your husband's house. If there is a statue in a temple, a statue in a temple receives cult. When a statue is thrown by a temple, there is no other place for that statue. The statue will become like a statue broken. And even according to the textbooks, a broken statue, you should not give a cult, offer a cult to that. It is a pap, dosh. So, Hindu woman, every step she is given this lesson in all religious practices. Don't think to leave your husband's house, even if you suffer a lot. If paradise exists, this is your paradise. If this is not paradise, you then don't have in your destiny the happiness of paradise. Try to understand. If you think that here it is not paradise, I will find a paradise, another place. No, there is no place for paradise. If you are in your destiny, you have the happiness of paradise, it is your husband's house. Stay there on any cost. So there is no ritual, no story, no song who will advise you to leave your husband's house. Whatever might be the costs, you have to pay. Pay. This is but don't feel that, oh my God, I can't suffer. No, don't take this time of unhappiness, this time of sorrow. Don't take it like this. You feel that in my destiny, there is a period for penitence, for tapasya. When you do a tapasya, do you feel sorry? No, you are happy. Tapasya is always very très dur.
Difficult.
Very difficult. And still you are happy. Do you regret your tapasya? So take this period, and many times, most of the times, this is a time when you are young. You have a force. You are strong. Do tapasya. More the tapasya is difficult, the fruit will be good. So be optimist. Stay optimist. Accept this period of tapasya. It might be very hard. Don't worry. Don't think to die. Don't think to kill yourself. And this is really, in the real life, sometimes you see that women are finishing their life, suicide, etc. But in these religious practice, when they are taught by their mothers and their old women, it is that no, be strong.
Could you give an example, for example, of, because we were saying before also, that sometimes the big stories are cut down to short stories?
Yes.
And could you give an example, for example, of one story which would show how you should do your tapasya?
Yes, yes, in 5 minutes. So, so you continue. And so third category is related to her brother. Then there is another category, because husband, good future husband, then husband and husband's love, having children, but I must have a brother also. And then comes the number of prosperity, riches. In whole, when I have calculated all the aims which she wants to achieve through this religious practice, there are 9 points, 9 types of happiness which she is asking, she is praying to achieve through her religious practice. And I was surprised that she is not speaking about moksha. She has no fear. Oh my God, this world is for sufferance and sorrows and problems. I don't want to come back. Oh my God, no. She is never saying this. Even a widow, because there is a third category which is allowed to a widow. The widow, once she is a widow, she will not. She is not allowed to practice the festivals reserved for a woman, married woman. So she will automatically leave these festivals, but there are other things. The child is there, the riches is there, prosperity is there, brother is there. So the other things she will continue. But there are some festivals where the widow, which are allowed to the widow, and she will continue to practicing these festivals for not becoming widow in her future life. So she is widow, her husband is gone, but still she is optimist, because she is sure that in future, in the next life, I will not become widow if I continue to practice these things. So still she has some things for her son, for her children, for her brother, for her riches, prosperity of the family, and having a happy married life in future life. So she is still optimist. And these some things are practiced by widows also. Then when I asked them what are the 9 happinesses that you are searching through this, these are happiness coming from husband, happiness for having a good and sympathetic family of father, so brother, on the sasural ka sukh, happy bonheur de family de mari, bonheur de family paternal family is happiness, good vehicle for going somewhere, riches, vahan sukh, bhumi sukh, because they were farmers, so having some having a house, her own house, this is also bhumi sukh. Chude ka sukh, because the bracelets are related to bonheur conjugal happiness related to husband, so sukh of chuda. And likes this, she pashu sukh, having a vache and cows and betai in French. Like this, and finally she says, sansar ka sab sukh, all the happinesses which exist in this world. And there I see a great difference between the thinking of the things practiced by the man, or which are advised by the text sacre, that she has no fear of this world. The world, God has created this world. Why having fear? Why thinking every time I want to leave this world? means you hate this world. No, the world is like this. God has created, if it is so bad, no, God cannot be so idiot. He has created something. There must be something good in this world. And I have some responsibility. If God has sent me in this world, I have some responsibilities. So why should I think about myself? I want to leave this world. I don't want to come back. I want to integrate myself with God. No. God will say, if God sends me, I will come. I will think about my duties towards this world. Duties towards my children, duties towards my husband, duties towards my brother, duties towards my society, my prosperity, everything. And one day I will go back. So there are 9 aims now she wants to achieve. But the thinking is very difficult, and you can say that she is materialist. But materialist not only for, it is a different type of materialism. Because there is no festival where she wants happiness for only herself. She is not, there is no festival for her own long life. At the contrary, in every moment, she will ask her God and Goddess, I should leave this world before my husband. Because the woman is considered to be responsible of the life and happiness of 3 people. There are other things, for example, even the prosperity is gone. Certainly, woman has done some mistake in her religious practice. So the God or Goddess is angry with her, and the consequence is bad. In the same way, there are 3 people which she loves the most, and she is responsible for them, her brother, her husband and her son. So if the husband is died and she is obliged to supporter le veuvage, subir le veuvage,
to go through with or to care.
Widow, then she has certainly done some pap, and the fruit is, and the pap is not so simple. Even see the textbooks, even in Ramayana of Tulsidas, if a woman is not correct, she is not virtuous, immoral, the consequence will be in her next life, either in the same life or in the next life, in plein jeunesse, she is
in the prime of her youth.
In the prime of the youth, her husband will die because of her sins. So, if you ask any woman traditional, your husband is dead, what happened? She will say, mere karmo ka bhog hai. This is a fruit of my own actions. The brainwash is like this. So, in the aims, she is not asking even that I should live healthy, or I should not be ill, or good health, or I should die. No, I should live long. She is asking every time, I should die before my husband and my son, my children. Not daughters, my sons. If because you are doing penitence, you are doing tapasya, but you are very correct for whole life. Just in the end, husband is died. You were precious. You have done sins. So nobody will say that you are a tapasvini. So you have to prove that you are a real virtuous woman who has not committed any sin. If you die before your husband and son, and your husband and your son take you to the lieu de cremation. So that's the reason why I was interested in this. And I continued this work.
So thank you very much for this. We just have to make a little break so that they can change the tape. So thank you for this first introduction, and so maybe like in the second part we will be able to focus a little more on the stories and the songs.
Thank you.
Thank you.